What's going on, guys? It's Doubtful here, back again with another YouTube video. In today's YouTube video, we're going to run through the best settings in the BO6 multiplayer beta that's out right now this weekend. Alright guys, so before I hop into this, settings video, I just want to say make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any sort of video ideas for the BO6 multiplayer beta that you'd like to see from me, go ahead and comment them down below. I'll do my best to make them. I'm trying to, try and put out as many videos as I possibly can with this BO6 beta this weekend. I'm probably going to come out with a class, like the best classes in the BO6 beta, both for like the AR and the sub, and then like maybe one or two other video ideas that I could possibly come up with before the beta ends. So, but for today, we're gonna run through the settings and everything. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so this first page for display, this is pretty much the same as how it was before with basically every other game and everything. Not really much that you have to worry about in here. Make sure your display mode is full screen exclusive or full screen borderless. I choose exclusive because if you don't have it in exclusive, it kind of messes up with your input lag, and then also you could lose some frames and stuff like that. Make sure your screen refresh rate is as high as it possibly can be, and then also make sure that it matches your refresh rate for your display settings in your own PC, not just on Call of Duty. One thing that's very interesting that you want to take a look at is the NVIDIA Reflex Low Latency. If you have an NVIDIA graphics card, you'll have this setting. If you don't, if you have like an AMD or something like that, you don't have to worry about this because you don't have this option. So you can have it on or boost. So on is just it's on default. That's the default version, and then on plus boost, it's basically it makes helps with like less latency, but it will reduce latency but increase GPU power draw. So if you don't have like a fantastic GPU, I wouldn't recommend running this. In reality, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've run both of these settings and I don't really feel a difference, so I just keep it on. I just keep it on the default. I really don't feel a difference on both the settings. Next, we're going to go to the custom frame rate limits. I see a lot of people use unlimited for the frame rate. I wouldn't recommend doing that. I would recommend setting your gameplay custom frame rate limit, sorry, tongue twister, to the refresh rate of your monitor. So I have it at 240 and my screen refresh rate is 239.760. It's the same. It's 240. I would recommend keeping it at the amount that your refresh rate for your display monitor is. If it pushes past that, it could actually hurt your latency and like help you, or not help you. It would hurt you in your lag, and you would like hitch and stuff like that. The menu custom frame rate limit I put at 100. The only reason why I put this at 100 and why I have it so high is whenever I'm in the firing range. I know there's no firing range right now, but I have this as a default for back in MW3. In the firing range, I have it, at 100 frames, just so it's similar to like how the gameplay would be. And then out of focus frame rate limit 30. It makes not much of a difference. Everything else is pretty much self-explanatory. Focus mode 0, turn HDR off if you have that setting. It hurts your latency and everything. So that's pretty much it for the first page for display. Okay, next we're going to go over to the quality tab. So for the quality tab, graphic preset custom, render resolution 100, dynamic resolution off, upscaling and sharpening, fidelity FX cast. It's the same as how it was last year. Make sure the cast strength, Jesus, I am stumbling my words today. It's at 100. For the VRAM scale target, now this is very important. So a lot of people run either like, you can go to the max to where it's like 90, or you can go like 80. Most people run 70. That's like like the middle, or 60 or 50. This is again more of a preference. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I feel zero difference in between 50 and 90. The only difference that I see is when I put it up to 90. For me personally, I actually tend to hitch more and packet burst a lot more. I don't know why, so I keep that at the lowest possible setting that I possibly can. So I keep it at 50. You can play around with it and see which one, which setting works best for you. Um, if you don't have a high-end PC, I would recommend just keeping it at 50. You don't really feel that much of a difference in texture loading. It literally says it may cause visual issues such as texture loading. I've never run into that problem, like literally ever. So I'd recommend keeping it at 50. Variable rate shading off, NVIDIA DLSS frame generation off. That's the same thing with the NVIDIA. Keep that one off. So we're going to go over to the texture resolution. Texture resolution very low. Texture filter and anisotropic low. Basically keeping everything the lowest possible setting possible. So I'm just going to run through this one really quick. Depth of field off. Nearby level of detail low. Particle resolution very low. Bullet impacts off, low, minimal. Local texture streaming quality low. Shadow quality very low. Screen space shadows off. Screen space ambient lighting off, low, off. So basically everything off or the lowest setting possible for quality. Now we're going to go over to view motion reduction. We're going to turn that bitch off. Turn that shit off. Field of view, FOV, I keep it at 100. That's what I've been running recently. 100, I pretty much like. Its default is 90. I recommend moving up to moving up to 100. I wouldn't go past 105. If you go past 105, you end up losing aim assist. ADS, field of view affected. We're keeping that, normal. Weapon field of view wide. It makes your weapon look smaller, so you'll have more space to look at what you're seeing on the screen, so your gun doesn't take up a good majority of the screen. Field of view, vehicle field of view, I just keep that default. World motion blur off, weapon motion blur off, first person camera movement at least 50, inverted flashbang, return that off. Basically turn that off. Make sure the blur is off. It'll make your game look horrendous. So I recommend turning that one off. And that is pretty much it with all the graphic settings. Now we're going to go over to the controller settings, which is the best controller settings that are in the game right now. So let's head over to that. Okay, so make sure your aiming input device is on your controller, if you're using controller, obviously. For me, I have my button layout as flipped. I claw, as you guys know. Just use a, right now I'm using a Battle Beaver. I'm actually going to order a new controller soon. I'm actually going to come out with a controller review on what is the best controller to run for Call of Duty. I'm going to be making that video very, very soon. But I just claw, use everything default normal. So it's going to be default flipped. Stick layout, default sensitivity, I keep it at 6.6. Most people run 6.6. It's a very default setting. Simplified controls, we turning that shit off. Low motor strain off. Bumper ping off. I swap L1 and R1 so I aim and shoot with L1 and R1 instead of L2, R2. Controller vibration off. I feel like it fucks with my, my aim assist and just shooting in general movement, so I turned that vibration off. Dead zone inputs, so I would recommend putting the left stick and the right stick minimum between 0 and 5. 0, it's basically as if you have a brand new controller and you have no stick drift whatsoever. I wouldn't recommend going past like 5 or 6. If you go towards like the 10 area, it gets like, really wonky with like trying to aim and everything and movement wise. So I would keep it at around like 0 to 5 range. Left stick and right stick max, I just keep it at default 99. And then for me, for trigger, I put that down to 0. So basically that just means that whenever you click LT or L2, R2, basically have no delay whatsoever on clicking that. Now we're gonna move over to aiming. So for aiming, I didn't fuck with like any of these multipliers. I just keep it normally. Look inversion on foot standard. We're gonna go to the aiming advanced settings. If you look in here, it'll tell you the aim response curve type. Change that to dynamic. That is the default curve type that basically like everyone should be running. It's the best aim assist curve type out of all of them. Basically shoots for you. I know there's like an aim assist drop off in this game, but dynamic is still the best to use. Target aim assist on. Motion sensor behavior off, so we don't fuck with the motion sensor advanced settings or anything. All that's off. Okay, now we're going to go over to the movement tab. So the sprint assist is a new setting that's used in BO6. Basically, they took away ATS, which is it. Oh my God, what did it stand for? Automatic tactical sprint. That's what it was. So if you want ATS on, you want to turn on tactical sprint assist. And what you want to do is turn down the sprint assist delay to either 0 or 2 and make sure both of these things are on. Once you have this setting on, it basically just makes it so that you basically have ATS or automatic tac sprint back on, because there is no setting to put that on in the like the single tap run, single tap sprint and stuff like that. I actually turned it off because I was playing around with it. I was playing with it on and playing with it off. I actually like it off, but it's all preference. You can use whatever you want. For mantle assist, I have that off. If you have mantle assist on, if you're trying to like shoot someone and you're like near a ledge and you like try and jump as you're shooting, it might accidentally automatically mantle for you and fuck up your gunfight. So I turn it off. Crouch assist off. Automatic airborne mantle, same thing. You don't want to automatically mantle something, so turn that off. Slide dive behavior, I turn that to hybrid. If you have it on slide only or tap to slide or basically any of the other settings, it basically feels as if your slide and dive are delayed. Hybrid is the only one where if you have it on, it basically feels that both the slide and the dive are not delayed, and it's actually like a lot faster and more responsive. Movement advanced settings, I don't really have anything changed except for the tactical sprint behavior. I have single tap run. That basically just makes it like old school Call of Duty where you only have to click on the left stick to sprint once instead of clicking it twice with double tap. I recommend having single tap run on. Double tap is really, you should only be using it if you're like in the CDL or some shit. Or you can have it on. I go back and forth. I actually might turn it on to double tap just to see how the timing is for me, because I do play really fast. It might actually help me slow me down. I would try all of these settings out, see which one works best for you. It's all basically just a preference at the end of the day. Everything else is just the same. Make sure like all of these things are on. And now we're going to move over to combat. Combat is pretty much the same thing. I didn't really change anything. Yep, didn't really change anything. Make sure everything is, default. One thing that you do want to change to make your game look a little bit more vibrant, have more color, is you're going to go over to the interface tab and you're going to move over to readability and come all the way down to color customization. You're going to scroll all the way down to color filter settings. You're going to turn on filter 2. Make sure you change it to the color filter target to the world. Yeah, make sure the color filter target is on world, or you can have it on both, but just make sure it's for the world as well, not just the interface. Turn the world color intensity all the way up to 100 and interface color intensity up to 100, and it'll make your game look much more vibrant. Another thing that you want to add and change is go over to the HUD bounds, and what you're going to do is you're going to move these arrows down like to the closest to the center of the screen as possible. Usually on default it's basically like this, and what you're going to do is you're going to want to bring these arrows as close to the center of the screen as possible. Basically what that does is it brings your minimap down and makes like your HUD just smaller and closer to the center of the screen. So whenever you're playing, you don't have to like look all the way like up to the top left of the screen, and like it kind of like messes up like your eyes, because you're not always looking like all the way up to the top left. So like if you have it closer to the center, you don't have to look as far to look at the minimap. You want to change this to a square. On default it's round, so you want to change that to square. It'll give you more area on the minimap to look. And that is pretty much it. Yeah. Alright guys, so that's pretty much it for the best settings in the BO6 beta right now. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any other settings, ideas that that you changed, that you actually found out that helped you. Let me know in the comments down below and we can go ahead and talk about it. But as always guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.